So now, whether you're making an offering or gathering grave dirt, you kind of want to do the same thing when you're gathering grave dirt, or when you're trying to do a prosperity spell, or anything that you're trying to do in a graveyard to get the spirits to help you. You want to make offerings, appropriate ones. This is a Saint Anthony candle. He watches over children, very merciful saint. And I dedicate this candle to this family of Barrow. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen. Rosewater is a wonderful offering. Now I'm going to make the sigil with this powder. Sometimes you won't be able to get your sigils to be drawn in the material that you have, as I found out here. But if you're drawing a specific sigil, you can run your material, especially if it's powder material, with your finger down and just keep on pulling. You're not going to be able to sprinkle it, and you're probably not going to be able to put it on the sides. But what you can do is basically put down the material, then smear it into the sigil that you're trying to do. So I recently created this sigil for speaking to and hearing the dead. And it is an effective sigil. It's easier to see on paper, harder to do with spiritual material, even if it is chasing powder, which is very potent. But if you're going to make a sigil, you're going to do it like this. If you're going to focus on the sigil, you want to have your hands to the sides, and you want to be looking straight into the dot of the sigil. And then you'll repeat either a prayer or a calling, or you will say, I am here, all those who wish to speak to me. Come to me, that you may be heard, and that I may speak to you. I recognize you in a way many have not for a long time, but I know that you are there. Come to me, speak to me, and let me speak to you. And if you don't want to just focus on the sigil and gaze into it and listen and meditate for a while, you can walk around the graveyard and then circle back to the sigil. But listen carefully, have paper beside you, and be ready to write down anything that comes to mind as you're staring at the sigil, but only write out of your periphery as you're staring at the sigil, and anything that comes to mind, write it down. That is a way that you can use a sigil in a graveyard, and that's the way that I'd recommend using a sigil like this. You put it on a gravestone, you make it work, and then you focus upon it, listen, watch, and be recognized by the dead. This has been an introduction for the sigil I've recently created. I hope that these practices aid you in your journey. If you're going to gather grave dirt, you need to make an offering of something material to the grave that you're gathering grave dirt from. Any kinds of change is good, but usually shiny pennies are the best. I offer you, spirits, these coins in exchange for some of your dirt, that it may use it in workings, and that others may use it along their path.